Okay, we're all set to continue into day 19 of Mind Over Magic. And so I thought about this after I stopped recording, and I want this assembly hall to be turned into an auditorium. And the big thing to get an auditorium is that I need to have it elevated. So I need to have space underneath the hall. And so the problem, of course, here is that the schoolroom's directly underneath it. So that there's the two rooms are one on top of the other. And I don't really want to interrupt everything else too much. And I have this set of staircases here. So what my plan is going to be here is I'm actually going to open up a space on the side of the assembly hall, and then I'm going to raise the floor by 2 levels, and maybe I'll just raise it 4 levels so I can leave this door here where it is to the mage's study, and I'm going to lift up the hall and then leave this area open underneath. And so then that will make it elevated because there'll be nothing underneath it, and I'll be able to turn it into an auditorium. And so I want to make sure that I have a fair bit of wood and stone, and I'm down to 3 stone. So that's not really enough for that, but I do have enough wormweed pods and viscera to push back the fog. So I will do that, and I'll begin this ritual with the 1 student I have and push the fog back. And after that, I'm going to go back into the underground and fight again to get more stone. And so the fungal cavern gives me void cap, iron, and ectoplasm, which is all good, but I need stone, not any of that. And the lava mine gives me 75 stone. And the lava mine, which it looks like I didn't renew the ward. So I need to fight here again now. The fog's moved into it, but it'll give me 75 stone. And the spine will give me 25 stone. So it looks like I'm going to go back to the lava mine and push back this fog there again. And when the fog comes in over underground rooms like this, it isn't the end of the world. It means that you have to fight again, but you get rewards from it. So in a way, it's a chance to work up your wizards if you are if you need more levels or if you need more resources or things like that. So in some ways, it's an opportunity. You might choose not to adjust the ward intentionally just so that you could go back in here and fight a level 3 fight, which might be easier than other fights as time moves on. And so I'm sending in Quinn and Quincy and Birdie and David, and they all are looking pretty good, with David having a ton of health, but he's a little bit injured. So I think I might actually replace David with Horatio, because Horatio has more, well, I actually don't know. Quinn only has 127, so I'm going to put David in place of Quinn, and Horatio's here, and then in the back there'll be Quincy and Birdie. And these are weak to air and they're weak to lightning. So in some ways, Quinn would be good as lightning, but he doesn't have much damage to do. And Linus is actually quite good. My air mage has 195 health, which is quite good, and a fair amount of mana. So I'm actually going to put Linus in instead of David up front as one of the 2 tanks, one of the 2 meat shields. And then in the back, I'll have Quincy and Birdie. And we're going to try to get some stone out of the underground in the dungeon. And so I'm going to use multi-strike, which does 41 damage, but he attacks twice. So it does 41 twice, so it does 82. But then these creatures take double damage from air. So it's going to do 82 twice, which is enough to kill him, which is always nice. Get rid of one of them right from the start, and then I don't have to be attacked by that creature anymore. And Birdie does damage to the front and the back, which is pretty nice. And with Fireball and Quincy, I don't see myself killing it, but maybe I will when Horatio or Linus attacks. And so I kind of am thinking about Vengeance on Linus because he has the air attack that does double damage. But I think I'm going to do Fireball and try to knock out another one of these Batkins before we get attacked. And so Smash is really nice, actually. The Earth does 93 damage. And so that would have been enough to kill the Batkin without Quincy having fired fired his fire spell at it. But I'm actually going to do Earth Armor to attract some hits from these creatures, and they'll hit Horatio's armor and then hopefully not do damage to him. Okay, and so we're back to Linus, and he's going again before these creatures have even gone. And so again, it's a little bit unfortunate. If I'd skipped Quincy, Horatio could have killed the Batkin at the front, and then now Linus could have killed one of the Batkins at the back. So that's a little bit of a pain, but I'm going to actually use the shield. Oh, I can only do it on him. So I think I'm going to do something a little bit funny that I'm going to cast Haste on Linus, and that should let him then go again because he's hasted now, well, which it doesn't. So it'll let him go twice next round, I suppose. I guess I can't do that on his own. And so now he gets to go first at the start of the round because of haste, and then he gets to go again at his regular time in the round. So I will do multi-strike and finish off this Batkin that's at the front and finally get rid of it. And then I have the growth and surging strength and the swinging vines from Birdie. And so I think that I will throw growth on, I'm going to throw it on the stronger Batkin. And then I'm going to let Quincy shoot a fireball at the stronger one. Oh, wow, he got a critical, so he almost killed it. And then the smash, when I get to Horatio, will finish off the 88 Batkin. And so now we're back to Linus's proper turn, and he can easily finish off the remaining Batkin with his air attack. So we didn't take very much damage here. It was a pretty easy fight, and we got the stone. So it was really quite easy that, or it was quite good that the ward didn't get renewed. And so I'll leave that. I'm going to actually increase the priority of wards by Stuart so that he'll come and he'll renew the ward. And because he's active 24 hours a day, because he doesn't sleep, as soon as it hits 70 strength, he should come down and renew it. And so I don't really like the room being reclaimed by fog like that, even though it was an easy fight and we just got a bunch of stone from it. But I'm going to get I'm going to get Stuart to start renewing that. So now we go back up here and we're going to try to raise up this room. And I'm going to do it first of all by shrinking the different items in the room. And I'll send Stuart to shrink those, which it doesn't really take anything too much from a particular ability level. So he's pretty much as good as anybody for that. And I now have lots of stone and I have lots of wood. So I'm going to go to this and I'm going to build a floor right across this room. And I'm going to build the spiral staircase up to this floor. And I am going to get rid of this roof. We're going to get rid of it. And I'm just going to get rid of that and that. And then now with Stuart, I'm going to maybe get Stuart to work on this. And Horatio is going to come up and disintegrate the roof. And hopefully he'll do a lot of construction on the different parts that need to be done. And they're ripping it apart. So this is great. Horatio is doing really well here. So I am then going to leave this gap open here, and that means that, well, maybe I don't want to do this. So the support is going to make the room quite small. So I'm now actually thinking that I could build the floor across like this, And then what I could do is I could open up this space next to the stairs. And I think I will do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the floor across here, and then I'm going to get rid of the floor here, and I'm going to build a bridge. And so what that's going to do is it's going to have this spiral staircase come up here, and then there'll be a little bridge to go across, and this whole area is going to be left open. And then I will build a wall here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will put a roof over top of it. And I will give this a door because I'll give it a door because that will improve the luxury, which is going to be important to turn this into an auditorium. And then I will have this opening here. And this is looking pretty good as is. The only thing I don't like about this is that the rain is going to get in. And there's an easy solution to that, is that I can just build a roof that comes off of the, I can just build a roof that comes off of the wall over here. And it doesn't like that. So then another option is I can build up the wall here, and then from this wall, I can have a roof. And I'll put it like this. So hopefully the rain won't be able to get in between these two roofs, even though they're not connected. And so it's going to leave an opening. And so this is looking pretty good to have a new ritual room, a new auditorium. So this will hopefully be an auditorium. And Horatio's restoring his mana from the mana lamp, which is kind of nice that this is up higher in the school, and it saves him from having to go all the way down to the mana stone in the basement. And he's hard at work building all of the walls and all of the new parts of the school using the stone we got from the dungeon. And I think he's going off to get more resources to build this up. And I can start putting out some of the things that I shrank there. So I've got the ritual stone, and I can put that out. Actually, I don't know. Cancel. I'm going to put the ritual stone right here, front and center. And there, the door is built now. And now, it looks like he might be trapped, unfortunately, and not able to get across to the room, which might cause me an issue. So Stuart is doing it, and so that's a little bit of a pain. So I could, in theory, just build a staircase here. And it looks like that might be what I do. And then the staircase going up here is, I might even just demolish this and get rid of it because I'm not using it right now. And so I'm going to remove this just to neaten things up. And I'm going to demolish this, and I'm going to remove the bridge. And so, you know, I just built all this here as a bit of a waste, but it's not the end of the world. And then I will also get rid of this door, even though it gives me a luxury benefit. And there we go, and we're building the stairs. And we are building the rest of the roof. And there, now we have an assembly hall, which we want to upgrade that to an auditorium. And it must be elevated, which it is. it must have 4 or more impressive luxury, which I can look into adding that, and it must have 35 or more total luxury. So right now it has 8, so I need to increase its luxury by 27, which is a little bit of a pain. But if I go here, and if I'm looking for, this is creepy, this is scholarly, this is peaceful, there's a decorative column that gives me +5 impressive luxury. So if I had enough stone, I could just put a decorative column at the back, and I'd have a big chunk of the luxury taken care of. And so that is pretty tempting to do, to just get the stone and build the decorative column. So I can get 25 more stone from the spine, or I could get, there's some rock here that I can mine. So that's pretty good. And there's some lava mine, and there's a gnosis vein. And so I'm gonna choose 5 to mine the stone. And I will send Horatio down here, hopefully, to, and it looks like Stuart beat him to it. So Horatio's gone to cook some bitter gruel, which is a waste of his abilities. And so I'm going to send him down to mine the stone here and get a little bit more stone to build a decorative column. And so you can just see Horatio's just whipping through this stone much, much, much faster than Stuart was. But now he's off to, I think he finished all the stone. So I think he did go and got it all, and I'm still short. I have 65 stone, and I need 110 stone. So over here, we've got 75 more stone for a level 4 fight. So I guess I'm going to do this as well. And I'm actually going to, because the mages are doing their dance party, it's the end of the day. So I'm going to let them all sleep and wait for another day before I send them for their fight. And here I would love to build another medical bed, but I'm short on ice petals. So that's an easy solution. And so I'll put those to be harvested. And I now have lightning rods that I can make, which is great to prevent the damage from the storm. And so I think I will build a couple of lightning rods here. And there we go. And now I'm out of smoke sticks. So I need another 10 smoke sticks before I can build that lightning rod. And I think I have some in my greenhouse, but there's none out here for me to harvest. And I'd love to build more things in my greenhouse, but most of them use stone. And so I'm trying to get enough stone to do the decorative column. So it's sort of counterproductive to start spending it on crops, but it looks like the smoke reed uses wood and viscera, so it's not using up my stone, so it's okay. And here is the line of them where I was putting them, and I will put that all the way here to leave 2 spaces for the wizards to walk along. And now I have a line of smoke reed plants, so that'll give me a steady source of smoke reed. The new fog is going to need a bunch of smoke sticks and phoenix flowers and ice petals if I was going to push it back. And so I don't think I'll push it back yet. I'll let it get a little closer. Right. I'm waiting for, I thought I was sending off the wizards to fight, but I'm waiting till tomorrow. So they have their dance party, and then first thing in the morning, I'm going to send them off to fight in the underground again. And up there, work's getting done. We've got enough spindles, and so I'm short of one of my quilted creatures here, and usually you run out of them. They die after 2 or 3 days. They're a temporary thing, but they need sinews and viscera. And so if you're not making replacements, usually it means that you need to hunt some rats and create sinew and viscera. to then be processed by these into the quilteds again. And all my wizards are sleeping, and a couple of them are in the nurse's office, which is great. And Stuart is working on building the different plants, which is a perfectly valid activity for him to do. And no one's doing research at night because all of the mages are working. Spectral Rift opened. I missed that. So I'm going to get the wizards to wake up to go deal with the rift. So Quincy is at full health, Birdie's at full health, Horatio's at full health, and Linus is at full health. And so I'm just going to go and hit the ghosts with these 4 mages once they have refilled their mana, and they should hopefully make short work out of the rift. So I'm going to use multi-strike, and it does 41 damage, and I attack twice, and I only do half damage to these 2. So I'm not going to do that. I'm instead going to I'm going to do haste, and I'm going to do haste on Horatio, maybe. Just because he's the slowest of the 3, and so that moves him up to the front. And then I could do 95 with a smash for him, and I think I will do that. Why not? And I'll do it against this ghost that has 160. And so I'll do some good damage to it. And now I'll do Swinging Vines, which does double damage. And so that will do some good damage to the Messy Meddler there. And then now I will do Fireball for 48 damage. And I'll hit that with the Chest Smasher. And that killed the Chest Smasher, which is nice. And now I'm going to do Earth Armor on Horatio so that he will get armor to prevent him from being hurt. And he will have taunt. And so the ghosts will attack him instead of attacking somebody else, which is what they're doing. That's great. And so his armor seemed to suck up all of those. And he's got some corrosion damage, which isn't good. Every turn that'll do damage to him on an ongoing basis, damage over time. But if I kill these off quickly, which I'm going to try to do, then I don't have to worry anymore about them. So I'll do Swirling Vine and just do some good damage to the Torch Snuffer. And then I'm going to do Vengeance on Horatio. So when he gets attacked, he will fight back. And he's hitting him with the smash and then with the multi-damage. And that's the end of the fight. And the wizards can go back to bed and hopefully rest up and heal from the fight. Oh. Okay, Stuart just headed off and harvested an ice petal. So I still need one more to make the medical bed. So I'm going to do that once he harvests the next ice petal. And it looks like Quentin is still sleeping. So I'm not going to rush them off to the underground to fight yet. But I might do that soon. And I'm going to put this bed tight against this wall here. And then I guess I could fit another bed in here if need be. Okay, I'm still at 65 stone, obviously. I don't have any way that I'm gaining more stone, but I believe everybody is up now. So let's go down here and we'll get another 75 stone. And I've got Quincy at a full health, Birdie at full health, Horatio is at pretty good health, and Linus is at full health. And they're going to fill mana before battle. So let's take on these two creatures with these 4 mages. I could, if I was really worried about the battle, I could be looking at the specific creatures I'm going to be fighting and what their resistances are and what their weaknesses are. And I'm not worrying about that too much because the 4 mages all have different magic abilities. And so between the 4, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be able to do a fair bit of damage against them. And so the Ember Golem is weak to water, and I didn't bring a water. And the Lantern Keeper is weak against rock, and it's weak against dark, and I didn't bring dark. So that's all okay. I'm going to, although Linus does do pretty good damage. She does 41 multi-strike damage, and he attacks twice, and it only costs 7 mana. And so that's quite nice, but I like the idea of hasting and getting a little bit more attacks out of one of them. And so I could either do Horatio and get more attacks out of the Earth wizard, or I could get more attacks out of Birdie and the Nature. And I think Nature is what's going to help me in this fight. And so I'm going to make Birdie. I'm going to give Birdie haste. And so first I'm going to put growth on the Ember Golem. And because I immediately get to go again, I'm now going to do Swirling Vines, which the growth does damage when it moves out of the space that it's in. And so moving it back now does damage both from the attack and from it leaving the space that had the growth in it. And now the Ember Golem is resistant to fire, so I didn't really want to cast Fireball at it. Now that it's back, it means I can attack the Lantern Keeper with Quincy's Fireball, which is what I'm going to do. So here, Horatio's been injured, and I'm going to put the Earth Armor on Horatio so he can take more damage. And then I am going to, I kind of like haste, to throw haste on someone else and get a few more attacks going, but I'm going through their mana pretty quickly. So I think maybe it would be better if I just started attacking with multi-strike, and if we tried to knock out some of these opponents before they wear down Horatio's armor. So I am going to, with the Birdie, I'm going to put growth now on the Ember Golem. And so that'll do damage. The growth will do damage to it on an ongoing basis. I'm going to do multi-strike, and I'm going to do that on the Lantern Keeper, and we're going to try to finish her off. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Swirling Vine on I want to do it on the Ember Golem, but then that means that Quincy's not going to be able to fire off fire at the Lantern Keeper. So I guess I'm going to move the Lantern Keeper forward. I'm not happy about it. And then I'll finish off the Lantern Keeper with a Fireball. And so there we go. And then now with Horatio, I could smash the Ember Golem, but I think I'm going to use Earth Armor again to get more armor because it's going to attack. And so I'll let it attack Horatio with some armor, and then I'm going to use Multi-Strike. Oh, that's funny. He's attacking Linus for some reason. I don't really know why. I would have thought with Taunt he would have had to attack Horatio. Okay. Oh, it might have been a counterattack. That might have been it. He might have been attacking Linus because it was a counterattack. So I'm out of mana for Birdie. So that's, I'm kind of running out of gas with my wizards. That's never a good sign. And I'm going to put Vengeance on Linus because he keeps getting attacked. And so that will let him counterattack. Actually, I should have put it on Birdie because Birdie has Taunt and is going. And so I'm kind of worried about Linus being attacked here again and knocked out. So I'm going to do a Shield of Wind on Linus, which blocks the next attack. So I should have put the counterattack on Horatio. So that was a mistake there. Oh, well. I am going to do haste now with Linus, and I'm going to do haste on Horatio because he has the most mana out of the other three. And so I'll get him to smash, and that finishes off the Ember Golem. So that's great. We got 75 stone, which is super. And down here, there's some lava mine that I can mine, and there's viscera, and there's some small corpses. That's all fine. But most importantly now, I have 140 stone. So I can go up here, and I can now build my decorative column. And I will go, and it looks like I can only build it in the middle two spaces because of how the roof is. So I am going to put the decorative column here, and I need 4 or more impressive luxuries, and the decorative column is going to give me 5 impressive luxuries. So I've got that taken care of, and I need 35 total luxury, and I have 8. I'm going to get 5 more from the column, so that'll give me 13, and that means I need 22 total luxury still. And so that's a little bit of a pain. That's a lot of luxury, 22 luxury. And so each of these rugs will give me 4 luxury. So if I need 22 luxury and each one gives me 4, that means 8 rugs would give me, oh no, that'd give me 32. So each one gives me 4. So 4 6s are 24. So I need 6 of these rugs, I believe, if my math is correct. And so I'll try doing 6, and we'll just see how that goes. And hopefully Linus will get involved with this. And sure enough, he is, because he's our air mage. He's really fast at assembling things. And so hopefully he is going to help us get these things done quickly. And so the underschool fog ward is depleted. So if we go down here now, oh, so again, the smoke came back. I have no idea why they're not renewing the ward down there. I'm going to set the priority for ward to be top for Stuart. Maybe he's too busy teaching to renew it. I don't understand what's happening there. I don't know why I keep having the ward depleted and the fog coming back. I don't understand that. Okay, so we're up to 28 luxury out of 35, which is great. And it's still building the last rug, and they're still building the decorative column. So we're up to 32. And so it looks like, sure enough, as soon as the decorative column gets built, that's going to be perfect. And we are going to have our new room. And so I'll be able to hire on Quentin as a staff member, which is going to be great since I need a dark staff member. And I probably should have, as I was going, I probably should have got David and some of the other wizards to be summoning new apprentices to train. And so I'm going to train a lightning apprentice to join Quinn in doing research once I can hire staff again, which it looks like I'm going to be able to do momentarily. So I could look up what it is, but basically each time I improve my ritual room, it lets me have more staff. And so I've reached the limit of staff for just an assembly hall, and I'm going to get a higher number of staff for an auditorium once my decorative column is complete. And so it looks like Linus is just about finishing it. And I now have 37 total luxury, and I have 5 impressive luxuries, and it must not be private, but it is private. So that means I'm going to have to do a door here, and Horatio will build the door. And so I'm going to send him over to do that. And so now there's a door, so it's no longer private. And so it just turned into an auditorium. And that was the goal. And so I can do rituals now. So I will hire Quentin, who is fully trained, and I will replace Quinn with Linus because Linus will get some experience out of it. Now these two are going to feel left out, so it's going to be a possible problem for them because it's going to hurt their conviction. But they both looked reasonably happy, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. And I have 52 Gnosis shards, so I'm going to pay 25 Gnosis shards to hire Quentin, and then I can pay another 25 Gnosis shards to hire Ryan once he's fully trained. And so that is going to be my plan there. And it looks like I just finished some research and I now have my Lavalina sty, which is my next refining beast. And so I love refining beasts, so I definitely want to get it. And I need slop is part of what you use to summon it, and it's what you use to feed it. And I can also make honey gruel now. So I want to make 20 of both of those, and I'm going to make slop the top priority, and I'm going to make honey gruel the second most. And I need bitter rice and honey drops to make honey gruel. And so luckily I can get honey drops. Here they are right here. And so I'm just going to go over here, and on the plants on the outside, I'm going to hit shift and click on the honey drop bush. That'll give me 13 of them, and I'm going to harvest all of them. So I'm going to start harvesting honey drops in order to make the honey gruel. And Quentin is being hired as a staff member, and Ryan is going to eventually be hired. So I'm just going to have a look here, and I'm going to attune this relic with Ryan. And then that's all I'm going to do. And then Quentin is being hired as a staff member now. And I have 2 bedrooms and 4 total beds. So I'm going to now have 3 staff members that are in on these cots. And so I really need to do something about that before they start grumbling. And so I'm going to make 2 bedrooms for the additional staff members. And I could maybe make the rooms here, but I'd have to leave the space to keep this open area underneath. I could put rooms above the greenhouse. That's not really ideal. I could put rooms above the mage's study, which again isn't really great. But maybe that is my best bet. It won't be silent, which the bedrooms need to be silent. So that's gonna be a pain. How I'm gonna get a silent bedroom here. So I'm going to have to think about this a little bit. I almost might be able to switch this into 2 bedrooms, which maybe seems crazy, but I might be able to turn them into really, really tight bedrooms. They must be private, and they must be silent, and they must be pristine, apparently. No, all it has to be is silent. And so I think I'm actually going to do that, as crazy as it seems. So I'm going to move this bed nice and tight in the corner, and then I'm going to move this bed ahead of it, and then I'm going to move this window behind it. And I'm going to I can do this with Stuart. He was lecturing students, but this is more important, trying to redecorate the staff's bedrooms. And I'm going to make it a nice tight room like that. And now it is a luxury of 5. and it must have a luxury of 5, so it's exactly right for that. I could sort this out and slide it in. So it looks like the bed takes 3 squares, which I believe it, yeah, the bed takes 3 squares and it's 3 by 2. So I'm going to put the bookshelf right next to the bed tight, and I'm going to hope that doesn't block the bed, which I don't think it does because I would have got a warning if the bed was blocked. And then I'm going to put a wall here, and I'm going to do a door, which will help a little bit with luxury. And the problem now is that I'm a little bit tight here. I can fit the beds in, but I need some more space. But luckily, I've got some room here because of the small arch support that I built. And I can build another small arch support here, which is going to prevent me from doing a second bedroom down below. But well, maybe I will try to do that actually. So I'm going to do build, and I'm going to build a floor, and I can build it out 1. So this is going to let me build a bedroom exactly like this, 3 wide. So it's a really small, really tight bedroom, but I can do it, so I will. And so I'm going to build up here the wall, and I think I've hit the end of my stone, which is a little bit frustrating, but I will demolish the wall, and I'm going to have to change these into floors. And that should be good to potentially build these out. And I am going to construct this with Horatio. He wants to go on bed rest, but I need his building skills, and so I'm not going to let him bed rest. And it looks like Stuart just went through and tore down the bedrooms, which is great, and he built the floor, which is great. And so now over here, I'm going to switch this to a door, which will let me get away with a little bit more, a little bit less luxury. And then again, I'm going to move the beds, and I'm going to move the, it won't let me move the window until we've sorted out the room situation. And so that's okay. Storm's raging, which is fine. That should be hitting, hopefully, the lightning rod. It's not doing damage to the roof over here. It is doing damage to the greenhouse. And so it would have been nice if I built another lightning rod, but I still need 2 more smoke sticks. So I will keep going with this, and I'm going to build a wall just like I did above here, and it's not letting me build here for some reason. I'm not sure why. It's blocked by a hallway runner. So I am going to demolish the hallway runner. I'm going to demolish the hallway runner, and so that's good. And I'm going to get Stuart to do that. And I'm going to build a wall here. And I'm going to build a door. And I'm going to move my bookshelf into the new location. Okay, research was finished, and I can now do these support columns, which are actually kind of handy. Those, if I'd had them a minute ago, I might have done things differently. The support columns let me, it lets me provide supports even when there's not a foundation. So I could have put a support over here, which would let me expand the building outwards, which would have made it easier to make bedrooms. So I'll do this, I'll continue with this because I'm doing it, but I almost could have done that with the support columns. And I now can get the Lavalian sty, which is wonderful. And I can not get a lightning rod yet, but I would like one. And so I'm going to put not the midden jelly, the Lavalina sty, and I'm going to put it right here, I guess, in between the attunement bench and the doorway. And here I've got, it's still an open back. Horatio is partying, which is unfortunate, but Stuart is going to swap over some of the work here, which we're going to need bedrooms soon for these people. So I want to finish off this work so that they can sleep. So I think Horatio just came, and I think he's helping, which is wonderful. And I am... Here we go, and I'm going to move the window, and Stuart is building a wall. And I'll get him to move this window over now. And so we have a bedroom up above, very, very, very tight, and a bedroom down below, which it says it's an austere bedroom. So, maybe because I haven't got the, why is it an austere bedroom and not a bedroom? Let's have a look. So it needs one or more windows. So the window, when I moved it, I don't know quite why, but Stuart seemed to just do half the move. And so there we go. So now it's a bedroom again. So I converted these to bedrooms, which is wonderful. And I have a bookshelf to use for the next group here. And so I will put the bookshelf at the back, and I'll put it over on the wall, and I will get Stuart to move it. And then I am going to build some beds, and I don't have to worry about them getting rained on with the storm. And I will, in a few moments, I'm going to have two new bedrooms, which will then be enough sleeping for all the staff, which is pretty exciting. And I need one more bookshelf to finalize here. And so now I've got my Lavalina sty created, and it's going to let me create stone, and it's going to let me create cinnamon. I don't really care about the cinnamon. That's used for beverages, which I don't really need, but I like the stone a lot, and it lets me convert wood into stone. So one wood into one stone. So that's pretty nice because I can harvest lumber up above. And so up till now, when I've been getting low on stone, I've had to go into the dungeon and defeat rooms to get stone. And so now the Lavalina sty will go and it'll convert wood to stone. So that's wonderful. And I want all new initiates to be doing a focus on beast care, and I want apprentices to be doing a focus on beast care. And right now I want Ryan to focus on beast care as my only student. And I think I will tell Stuart to summon another student, another lightning apprentice. So we'll do this as everybody in the school sleeps. And the cots, hopefully we're coming up on the final days of the cots. And so Ryan is on a cot, which is annoying. I don't know why he didn't go on one of these beds, because they're available for any student. So I am going to move the staff into these rooms as soon as they're finished. And then I am going to disintegrate all the cots. So I'm not going to let anybody sleep on cots anymore. So that's looking really good. We've got all 7 of our types of flavors of magic made now. And we have a couple new bedrooms being made. And we've got 2 apprentices, which is pretty nice. And I'm going to start disintegrating these cots so no one can sleep in them again. And that should lead to happier wizards at our school. And now for these beds, I only want staff to sleep in the beds, in the bedrooms. And so no students. Huh. Okay. All staff, there we go. And this is an austere bedroom, it says. Oh, because I never built a window. So these both need windows. And so there's one window, and I can't do a window here yet until the wall's built. So I have 20 stone. I have a little bit more stone, which is good. I seem to run out of stone before. And I will build that up, and then I'm going to demolish a wall. And I'm going to demolish that. And then here I might change this wall to a floor. And there we go. We will let, hopefully, Horatio should be, oh, he's repairing the lightning rod. That's good. Repairing's an activity that's well worth doing for him. And Quinn is hard at work. Researching, which is what we want him to do, and we'll get Horatio to build a number of walls. And so everybody's doing what they should be doing, what we want from them. There we go. And so we've got an austere bedroom here, and so we will build a window, and we need 2 ice petals to build the window. And so we got all the ice petals that were over here, but there are some ice petals that have grown over here. So I'm going to harvest those and give it top priority. And I think now we could, in theory, start doing more of our outdoor plants here. So we've done wormweed plants, and we've got a whole row of them. And then we have gutberry plants, and then we have smoke reeds. So, and then outside we have the bitter rice plot. So we've got all of the plants except for the trees. And I don't love growing trees. They grow outside. So I always think, well, I'll just grab them outside. Why build them in my greenhouse? But they do grow faster when you grow them in your greenhouse. And there are times when you will chop down all the trees and you need wood and it's gone. And so I think it's actually good and worthwhile to build at least one of each type of tree in the greenhouse. And so I'm building the tree here, and I'm satisfied with that. I'm happy to be building a tree. And we now have our bedrooms, and we still need the window. So, and I don't have any window here that I can build, but because it looks like I need wood. So here we go is an example of there's not a lot of wood that I can get. I'm going to send Birdie to chop down this tree before it's consumed by the fog. And there's one over here as well, and I'll give it a 5 priority. And so hopefully somebody will go and chop that one down. Maybe Birdie once he's finished with this one. Nope, Birdie's not chopping it down, but we're going to get some wood at least from these. So that gave us 53 wood, and so now we can build the window, and we'll build this for the last bedroom, and we'll just let the staff decide on their own bedrooms tonight, and they can figure out where they want to sleep. The Lavalina sty has been getting affection from the students, so that's wonderful. And the midden jelly has been getting affection from the students, so that's what we want. Sometimes the students neglect the refining beasts, and that always makes me irritated. So I like to check in on them and make sure that they are taking care of them. And the mages study is going well. This mages study just needs to be pristine and skewed. So I could actually build something on top of the mages study, and it wouldn't interfere with it being a study, which is actually kind of tempting. So I'm going to build a floor across it, and then I'm going to build here another floor, and then now I can build the spiral staircase up to this second level, and I'm leaving it open for the elevation on the auditorium. And so it's unhappy. I've lost my requirement here because the room's been disturbed and it needs a room. So I'm going to send Horatio over to quickly rebuild this, and I am going to, up above, I'm going to build a hallway, and I'm going to demolish this roof, and I'm going to build a wall, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I will build a roof on top of the wall over to the door, and I don't know quite what I'm going to put here yet, but I'm sure that I will put something. And Horatio is building a hallway, and he's building the stairs, and he's building the platform. Hard at work building everything. And so that's great. It looks like the floor is being built here. And there's Horatio at the door. And the windows, and I've got my mage study back, and it looks like my research at least can continue. Quinn seems to have wandered off. He's eating, so he's not doing research anymore, but we're getting this room being built above it, and we've got all of our bedrooms, and so I'm quite interested tonight what everybody's going to do when it's bedtime, and I'm going to double check and verify that they I'm going to double check and verify that they do go to bed in the bedroom. So sometimes they'll just quietly sleep on the floor, and then they get very unhappy the next morning because they've slept on the floor. A tainted mana lantern has appeared, and these are kind of a pain. They upset wizards with specific levels of wands. So in this case, it upsets wizards with tier 2 wands, which none of our wizards have a tier 2 wand, so that's not a problem. So it's not bothering it, so I can ignore this tainted mana lantern for now. If it was upsetting people with the first level of wands, then I would have had to really rush and dealt with it. So the fog is close, and we need some wood to drive it away, and we only have 14 out of the 75 wood that we need. And so this is kind of an example of where I said that we can sometimes be running low on wood, and so it could be useful that we're building this bristlecone tree. So that might help us tomorrow get enough wood in order to drive back the fog. I don't know whether or not I can chop down this tree that's embedded in the fog, but I'll give that a try. And all of the wizards are in bed and they're asleep, and I can see all of the staff. There's 7 of them, and I see 7 of them in the beds. There's one missing, and that's Horatio, and he's over in the medical bed healing up. So that's great. Horatio is almost healed. And one thing I'm going to do is once Horatio has finished healing, I'm going to actually send him to his proper bedroom. And so then he can sleep for a little while in his own bed, and he'll be happier when he gets up in the morning. So now he's sleeping, and I'll get a little bit of a bonus when he wakes up that he slept in the bedroom, and he slept with Quinn, who I imagine he likes to hang out with as a friend. He likes to hang out with, he likes to sleep in the same bedroom with them. And here we are, and we have 41 wood. So I think we might have got a little bit of wood. I guess I could have sent Stuart over to chop this tree, which I can't chop it. So because it's embedded in the fog, I can't get to it. I could, in theory, do the lower level ritual to push back the fog just a little bit, and I only need 34 wood to do it. But I actually think that I'm going to get the other 35, or the other 35 wood that I need to get up to 75 wood. And then that will let me push it back further. It'll let me use the higher level ritual. And so even this tree is at 61%, 62%. This tree's at 97%. So it is about to be grown, and I can just go and chop it down as soon as it's grown. Here's one that just finished growing, and I'll just give them top priority, 5 priority to chop them down. And then I will, as soon as I get the 75 wood, I'll do the ritual and push back the fog. And so I'm here, and the bristlecone tree is growing reasonably quickly. And so I think in short order, we're going to be able to push back the fog. So there's no problem, the fact that it got so close. It says that it will consume the school tomorrow. So it's kind of good that we're chopping down the wood and we're gearing up to do the ritual. 67 wood. I need 74 wood, I believe. 75 wood. And there, I've got it now. And so I'm going to do the superior ritual to push back. And I can choose one of the 2 lightning mages. And I'll choose Ryan, not for any particular reason. Actually, I'll choose Seth because he is newer than Ryan. And so that should hopefully benefit him. And I can use David, just not for any reason because he's usually wasting his time. And I'm going to get him to summon another lightning mage. And so we can have a maximum of 3 of the same type of mage. So the maximum number of lightning mages we can have is 3. And so I'm going to have 3 lightning mage apprentices to take over for Quinn. And then they're going to do some research. And I would eventually like to get a 4th lightning mage because I want to set up 2 shifts of research, the morning and the evening. So there we push back the fog. And so that's wonderful. We'll keep chopping down some trees, I imagine. And we've got this tree growing in our greenhouse. I'm going to build. So I've now got all the smokeweed plants, and I've got all the gutberry plants, and I've got the bitter rice plants out front. And if I look, I've got 62 bitter rice, so I'm fine for basically all plants. So there's no plants I really need to be buying. I should probably put some wall torches in this dark room so that I don't get void shrooms. And there's some instruction going on here. I'm going to check with the apprentices and see with either the two new ones if I can attune anything to them. And it looks like I can. And I'm going to attune with them. I'm going to attune that one. And there's nothing for Tate to attune. And I am going to build. I'd like to build a plinth and use it to display relics, but I need sculpstone, which I believe the porker might eventually let me build sculpstone, but I don't have it yet, but I need it. I also need I need brains, which I don't have that, and I need it. I can build the new lightning rod, which I will, so that the next storm doesn't damage my greenhouse. And I have chimneys now, which would let me upgrade my scully to a kitchen. And so right now it is a scullery, and I would like it to become a kitchen. And I need to have one or more chimneys. And I just got some chimneys, so that is an easy thing to deal with. And so there, the chimney is built. And then I need a small spice rack and a pantry. And then I need to improve the luxury. So it's easy enough to have a pantry. And I'll put this over near the, I'm going to put this over near the gruel pot. And so they can get ingredients out of it. And then I need to have a small spice rack. And so here's a small spice rack, and I need 10 wood for that. So I should, in short order, get up to 10 wood. And so the pantry is complete. And so I'm only going to allow meal ingredients in this pantry. And it'll be something that will be useful for Quincy when he's cooking at the gruel pot. And I'm still at 3 wood. And so there we've got 31 wood. And so now I will build for luxury a small spice rack, and I'll put it over here above the chest. And so now once I have that, I then, does the spice rack give me any luxury? 2. So the spice rack gives me 2 luxury, and I have some torches here causing me problems. So I'm going to shrink the torches. Was there a torch behind the pantry? Yes, there was. So I'm going to shrink the 3 torches, and that will increase the luxury to 0. Then I said that I get 2 luxury from the spice rack, and I need 13 luxury. So that means I need 11 more luxury, and I need some source of light. And so I kind of like to do a candelabra, and that will give me light, and it'll give me luxury. And so to get one of these, I need some phoenix flowers. And so I'll go over to the phoenix flowers, and there's a nice little crop of them here, and I'll do high priority for harvesting the phoenix flowers, and I'll get some of them, and then I'll start building candelabras. And I believe I said I need 12 luxury. So I might just build 4 candelabras, and then that will give me some light, and it'll give me some luxury, and hopefully that is enough of both. So I now need some wood for the candelabras. Which I've chopped down all the trees there are on that side, but there's 3 over here. So that's pretty good. And I am going to give these top priority to get chopped down since I'm hurting for wood right now. Down to 1 wood. So one kind of small problem with the Lavalina sty is that it will grab up all the wood and turn it into stone, even if I'm running low on wood. It'll just keep converting it. And so you sort of need to be a little bit aware that it's going to be a sink for wood, and you either have to turn it off when you don't really need it, or you need to just flood it with wood, which is what I normally like to do. So instead of worrying about how much wood I have, I just go crazy and I just get tons and tons and tons of wood and prevent it from filling it up. So the problem I have here is I have this room, but no one can reach it. And so that was the problem when I first built the spiral staircase, and then I just rebuilt it and it has the same problem. There's no way for anything to come around the side here because it is open. And if I build a floor here to connect it, then the auditorium will no longer be elevated. There'll be a room underneath it. And so I'm gonna build these torches with Stuart, but I'm just going to leave this room inaccessible for now, and I'm going to have to sort out what I'm doing with this and why. And I could just build stairs up to it, and that might be the best approach for now, because there's not really an easy way to do this unless I move the wall in, and I don't necessarily love that either. So there's no good solution there, really. So I've got some research finished. So I have a dragon walk, which is wonderful. And I need 5 meat in order to build a dragon walk. It's like a fancier type of cooking than the gruel pot. And so I can get meat from the midden jelly. And so I researched this, and I didn't do anything after I researched it. And so I can add a recipe. Oh, I guess I can't. I can add a recipe for eyeballs, which I'll do in the midden jelly. But I'd really like to add a recipe for meat, but it looks like I haven't researched meat yet. So I'm not going to be able to get the dragon walk until I figure out how to get meat. And so if I go to research, I can search meat, and the Kronberg is what I'm currently researching, and it doesn't get me meat. So what do I? This is funny. Nothing's coming up about showing me meat. Next. So here's use every part, which researches meat, and I haven't researched it yet. So I would love to research the Kronberg and keep going with that, but I think I'm going to have to research meat to use the dragon walk that I just researched and start making new dishes for the students. So I think that's more important than the Kronbug, because the Kronbug requires runewood, which is a fancy type of tree, and I haven't got to those yet. And it looks like I can do wormweed and viscera to push back the fog, and I'll do that in the morning. Hopefully it won't get so close that I need wood again, although I'm at 144 wood, and I'm at 13 gut berries, so it's fine if it does. And if it moves closer and uses the first, and it does, it's using gut berries and wood, but I have enough to push it back with that. So in the morning, I'm probably going to first do a ritual to push it back with wood and a gutberry. And then if I can, I'm going to immediately do the ritual again with wormweed and viscera and push the fog back a second time and give myself a little bit of breathing room to get the fog out of the way. And I can now build this second tree. So I've already built the bristle. I built the bristle cone tree, and so now I'm going to build a sun shadow tree. And so, as I said, I don't usually bother building trees in the greenhouse. I just chop them down from the resources out and around outside. And so I will try to get them, and I'm basically going outside and choosing everything to harvest because I can use it all, and I might as well just start sending my staff out to harvest everything that's available outdoors here. And they'll hunt all the rats, and they'll harvest everything that they can. And Stuart is building this new tree, a sun shadow tree, and I now have a bristle cone and a sun shadow tree in my greenhouse. And the mages are all sleeping, and the staff all have really sweet rooms, and the 3 students have their rooms. And they're asleep one beside another. And it looks like Seth is ready to be hired as a staff member. So that is great. I'm going to do that first thing in the morning as well. Once I'm done pushing back the fog, maybe I'll hire him as a staff member. Okay, so everyone has gotten up, and I think they're heading to the dining room. So I actually have 7 staff members. And so the problem with that is it means that one staff member can get left out when the other 6 are eating, because there's only one table, and the table allows 6 people, I believe, around it. So I am going to have to do something about the dining table, especially because I am about to hire another staff member. And so I'm going to go from 7 to 8 staff members. And so my options are that I can either get them eating on different schedules. So I can have 2 groups of staff, one that eats kind of the early dinner and one that eats the late dinner, so they each can get to the dining table and eat. Or I can build a second dining room, and then just once one dining room is full, they can go to the other dining room. And so there, they finished the ritual, and now I was going to do the ritual a second time, but they actually skipped past the viscera and wormweed ritual, and it's the smoke stick, phoenix flower, and ice petal ritual, and I don't have the resources for that. So I'm not going to bother with that, but I am going to hire Seth as a staff member. Oh, Ryan's ready now. And so it doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to hire them both. I have enough gnosis for it, and I currently have 1 lightning mage, so I can go up to 3. So I'm going to hire the 3 of them. And so in theory, I could do a night shift of the staff, which they could eat at a different time because they're going to be the night shift, and that would actually be good for the researching. So I could have staff who are researching at night when Quinn is asleep. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the dining room, and I'm going to set up a second staff shift, and then I will get more use out of the mage's studies and my arcane secretaries and research, and I'll get more use out of my dining room because they're going to use it at different times. So I'd like to go and hire staff again, but I've hit the limit for staff now. So I've got all the staff that I can get until I build a great hall. And in order to turn this into a great hall, I need I can go to relic room or ritual room, and I can choose Great Hall. I need it to be elevated, which it is. I need it to be pristine, which it is, and have a ritual sigil, which it has. But then I need to have a sculpted relief. And that's comes about later. It's something I need to research. So it's literally impossible for me to build a Great Hall. So I'm at my limit of staff. And I just can't hire anymore. So that's okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to retire Quinn because I have another lightning mage ready to go. And if I retire Quinn, I can then hire Ryan to take his place. And to a degree, you might say, well, why do that? Quinn is already highly trained. He's a level 6 wizard. Why swap him out for somebody who's newly hired? And I get a good relic when I retire Quinn. And a newly hired level 3 staff member is basically as good as a level 6 Quinn. They have similar magic abilities, and pretty quickly Seth is going to gain levels and be level 6. So this is a good thing to retire him and then replace him with Ryan. And so my fear is that they'll get sad after I retire him. But looking at all of them, their convictions are quite high. So it's actually, I'm not even too worried about that they're not going to get too sad. So I'm going to choose the staff members with the lowest experience. And now the rest are all fully our maximum level. And so I'm going to choose the 2 staff members with the lowest conviction. So they'll be because they participated in the retirement, they'll be a little bit happier because of that. And the other staff members are going to be sad that they were left out of the retirement party. So there they go, and Quinn is going to be retired, and Seth is going to take his place. And then now I'm going to hire Ryan as my new lightning staff. And I think, so I'm going to again do Seth. And I'm going to do Quentin, and they're going to get experience from it. And then I don't really know which of the rest have the highest conviction. It isn't showing me for this, and so I'll just go with that and hope it doesn't tick off any of the other staff too much. Okay, so now I have the 2 new lightning staff, and so I'm going to set their priorities. And for both of them, Ryan and Seth, I want them to prioritize research, so I'm going to put that at the top for them. And as lightning mages, that's about all I need to do. So they will work hardest on lightning mages. Quentin is my dark mage, and I don't know why, but I never I never gave him a priority to quilt, which I should have, and I never gave him a priority to ward. So that could be why the room in the basement wasn't getting warded. I might have forgotten to do that when I hired him. So now they're all being used properly here. And I am going to have a quick look here. And I could also still retire Quincy and Birdie just because they've been there longest. And, and David. Quincy, Birdie, and David. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to summon students to replace them. And not for any sort of good reason. It's not like they're a problem, but I will get good wands from, or I'll get good relics from replacing them. And so, and the new staff that I hire will probably be as good as them. And so I'm looking at the newly acquired relics here, and this is great. It looks like there's some nice new ones. And I am going to go to Tate, and I could attune some relics, and I think I will attune some relics to him. And in Ryan, I could attune some relics. And Seth, there's one. And Quentin, there's one. And Linus, I can get a couple. And so I'm just attuning any relics I can to them so that they will increase in power as the staff take activities, or as the student gets promoted or graduated, and they're all now assigned to the different staff members. And I'm summoning a new student, and I've retired one teacher, and I've got 2 new lightning researchers. And so it looks like they're heading off to research, both of them, which is wonderful. And what I'd like to do is, I still have the problem that I have 3, 6, 8 staff, and I only have 6 places at my dining room table. So I'm going to create a new schedule, and this is going to be for overnight. It's going to be for overnight wizards. So people who are going to work at night instead of sleeping at night. And so I'm first of all going to switch here, and I'm going to follow sort of the idea for staff here. So first of all, they're going to eat early. They're going to eat before the other staff, and then they're going to do classes for 5 hours. Here's classes for 5 hours. Then they do a task to break it up, and then they do classes for 5 hours. Then they would normally eat here, so I'm going to get them to eat early, and I'm going to get them to recreate at night with everybody else. And so then after they're done recreating, I'll get them to do classes 5 times, and then a task, and then I'll get them to eat. And then I'll get them to do classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll get them to sleep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so now I have them sleeping for 6. I have them eating early in the morning and at night. I have them recreating for 4 hours. And then I have them here doing things, and I think maybe I'll try to just do a task here, and maybe I'll do sleep, and I will do a task here. So they sleep for 6 hours, and then they eat before anybody else, and then they recreate with everybody else. And so this looks pretty good. And Quentin should certainly go here because he is a dark wizard, and they kind of like things at night. That'll become more relevant later on. And I think I'll do Ryan just to pull out one of the 2 lightning mages. And so Ryan and Seth, it's not like they like to eat together, or that they like to sleep together, or anything like that. And Quentin, same thing. And so this is good. So I think this is a great new schedule. I'm going to move the 2 of them there, and then that'll leave 6 mages to eat at the table and work during the day. And I think we're all set to continue. And I think this would be a good place to stop. I've got everything set up. And so I'm going to save the game in the middle of day 23. And then I'll continue with Mind Over Magic in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.